So now it comes to that point, what's the best way to sell? And again, over 23 years, and before that, I was a traditional real estate broker where we would list properties. But the way I see it, there's three main ways of selling real estate. Number one, for sale by owner. You know, there's a neighbor, the renter, whatever, that said, hey, you ever get the chance to sell this property, or you ever have a desire to sell it, call me first. Well, again, it's easier to negotiate through a third party. So you can for sale by owners. You can do it the old-fashioned way of just listing it and wait. Well, some of these farms have been on the market for years. Well, all you're telling the marketplace is that you are asking too much money probably, and you're waiting and waiting and waiting for that one right buyer to step up and buy your farm. Why list and wait when you can market and sell? And the third option that is widely acceptable is an auction. Now, with an auction, there's several different kinds. Let me just highlight. There's an absolute auction. That's where you're going to sell the property regardless of bid, and whatever it comes in that day, you're willing to take that price. The other one is a minimum bid. That's where you tell the marketplace and your neighbors, friends, anything over X amount, we're selling our farm. And the third type is a reserve auction. A reserve auction is most commonly used, and that is where it's subject to owner confirmation, where you as a seller will put it on the money, get the high bid, and submit it for your approval. Now, with a minimum bid and with a reserve auction, you as a seller can set a bottom line price. So there's a safety net there. Because again, depending on when you sell, the marketplace can be very harsh, it can be very rewarding, but again, you're going to want to surround yourself with the professionals that can give you the options that I think you need. Now, another form of auction that we've all seen is a sealed bid. A sealed bid, and that is where everybody takes a blank piece of paper, you put in a bid that you're willing to pay for the farm, you put in a check for 10% of that, you submit it for a bid opening. Well, let's face it, folks, nobody wants to pay more than they absolutely have to. And there are companies out there that have a way of upping your bid. They'll take the 5 highest bidders, bring them into a room, and again say, okay, I've got $4,500. Does anybody want to better their bid? Well, there's a little bit of issues with that as well, but we'll talk about that. Outside of that, there's the live event. Now, with a live event, we've seen over the years, 23 years, I've seen everything. And there's 4 items I just want to talk about in a live event. Number 1, crowd control. You know, I've seen it at a live event where little groups of people kind of get off into their little corners, form their little cliques, and bid accordingly. They're trying to strategically plan the purchase of this property. I've actually seen it get quite nasty where expletives have been thrown back and forth. Again, makes for a very uncomfortable situation, not only for the family, but us as marketers. I mean, let's face it, we don't want people to get mad at each other. And if I ever get a chance to tell you the story about 2 of them coming face to face and expletives were flying, I felt very embarrassed for the seller and the rest of the crowd that had to be there. So crowd control, very important. Number 2, collusion. You know, sometimes neighbors get together and say, tell you what, you don't bid, I'll just buy it and we'll split it after the fact. Or collusion. I actually saw one time where 2 brothers came to an auction. One sat up front, one sat in the back. Well, all of a sudden, the one in the front, it got up to a certain point, he threw his bid card down, he said, it isn't worth that, and he left the auction just to leave his brother in the back continue bidding. Again, folks, these are just things that can happen. You should consider it, because when it comes to doing an auction, we're there to do everything we can to get you the most amount of money. The third thing is sabotage. We've all seen it. Sabotage, they create rumors. You know, yeah, they used to have a landfill back there. There's this, there's that. Sabotage can destroy your sales. So again, you're going to want to keep that in mind. Fourth, intimidation. Intimidation comes in several different forms. For example, a well-known wealthy buyer, we've all seen it happen, comes to the auction, and what do the other bidders say? Well, no need to bid anymore. He's here. Well, again, there have been buyers in the past that have overpaid for farms just to intimidate the crowd on that next opportunity that comes up. Don't get caught in any of those 4 traps: crowd control traps, collusion, sabotage, and intimidation. There's other things that might affect a sale. Let's say that there's a family member that wants to buy a piece of the property or a piece of Grandpa's farm. As soon as the marketplace sees a family member bidding, oh, they think there's collusion going on and they stop bidding. Or we all know it, neighbors will not bid against neighbors. Renters won't bid against the neighbors. Most people won't bid against the renters. Again, someone may want to pay more. They just desperately need more acreage. They need it. They're willing to pay more, or they've got money tied up in the stock market. They will pay more, but they don't want to rock the apple cart. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. Then again, us auctioneers, we've heard that whole all of a sudden the auctioneer had a fast hammer. He slammed the hammer and sold it too soon. Again, those are issues that you're going to want to talk about. That rarely happens. But you know what? Then once the auctioneer gets the property on the money, if you, the family member, the decision maker, the executor of an estate are there, the auctioneer rolls right to you, all the eyes are on you, and say, what do you think? We should sell it. Pretty intimidating. And again, we do our best to make sure you're in a comfortable situation. Well, here at Alliance Bid, over again these 23 years, seeing some of the pitfalls and some of the weakness of other auction situations, we've actually developed an auction process that is fair, convenient to everybody. It's actually an online platform where people can bid online, bid over the telephone, or in person. Whichever way those buyers want to participate, we allow them. Again, everybody is anonymous and confidential. All bidders are anonymous. Again, we have had buyers in the past step up and say they didn't want to rock the apple cart. They would be willing to pay more, but all the eyes were on them as a bidder. Well, again, let's say this gentleman went ahead and purchased the property. All the other farmers, renters, whatever in the area come up and say, good one. You went over $6,000 an acre. Now we're all going to have to pay it. Just because this person might be in a cash position, have more money, but again, desperately looking for land. But in that live format, when all the eyes are on them, they just don't want to rock the apple cart and get everybody mad at them. So just keep those things in mind, because again, at Alliance Bid, what we've done is we've created this online process. It's an award-winning, high-impact marketing campaign. It's all internet-based, and being on the internet, it allows us to put a complete information package together, allowing them, the buyers, to make an informed decision. Now, granted, most buyers do come from 10 miles away, but let me tell you, there's people that have roots right in your backyard that might live in California, Montana, Pennsylvania. If in fact they're thinking about their IRA and they're thinking about what's the best thing to own, it comes right down to ag land. We all have to eat, and it's one of the best decisions people can make. And again, if we can do it based on the internet, these people can participate, and we've even had people call in at auctions from overseas. One gentleman was from Hong Kong. He was on a business trip, but the auction took place where he could participate. So again, those computers are changing everything, not only your farming operation, but the auction method of marketing as well. Our team is all set up for a totally smooth transaction and settlement. We take care of it all from the time you say, yes, let's auction, to final settlement. We work with you and for you. We work with all your advisors, and we can also throw out some helpful ideas that, again, can make you money, save you money, and get the job done. So again, whenever you decide you want a question answered, do us a favor, give us a call, because in this short video, I wasn't able to completely go over everything. There you have it, folks. We talked about when's the time to plan, how to keep as much as you can, when you should consider selling, keeping it fair to all parties, and the best way to sell. I'm a little biased when it comes to auctions, but there's weakness in certain auctions too. But I believe that we've come up with a system at Alliance Bid that is second to none. And in this short time, I'm hoping you might have a question or two, and you'll do me a favor. Pick up that phone, give one of our team a call here at 763-262-5555. Again, it's a confidential auction evaluation. Anything you and I or our team talk about is strictly confidential. If you'd like to go to our website and see some of our opportunities, please go to www.alliancebid.com. We're there to serve your needs. And again, any question you have, do me a favor, pick up the phone and let's holler. And until that time, I hope you have a fantastic day.